Good morning everyone, welcome to your English class. Today I will be doing one poem which was supposed to be done in the term for term 1, but we had skipped this because the term 1 portion or syllabus was becoming too much for you all. So we had skipped this poem and kept it for term 2, or in this case we'll be doing it for PT2. So if the poem is called Macavity the Mystery Cat by T.S. Eliot. Macavity the Mystery Cat by T.S. Eliot. So what do you think the poem could be? Yes, I had sent you a video to watch about cats. I hope you watched it and I hope you had fun, as much fun as I had watching those videos where the cat is quite a thief. He goes and steals things from people's houses and from his own house as well. Yes, so we saw that. I hope you saw it. If not, you can still watch it. And there are many such videos on YouTube. I found this one the most appropriate for you. So you can search for more such videos. So cats are supposed to be like thieves. They come and rob things in the kitchen and they take it to their own hiding spot and they eat it there. Same as with dogs. Dogs also do that sometimes. So this poem is about this cat, Macavity, the mystery cat. The mystery cat. Even the name of the poem, the title of the poem suggests that this cat was very, very mysterious. And in this poem, the poet talks about the cat being a thief. So he has personified the cat to a human being. So the cat has human characteristics here. So one poetic device that the poet has used is personification. He has, the way we read the poem, it seems like we're reading the poem where the cat is like a human being and he's going about stealing things. And he's such a clever cat that nobody is able to catch him. So this is what the poem is about. Okay. So as I'm explaining to you also, like I'll be explaining the poetic devices as we go. So the first one I've told you, please make a note of it, and that is personification. He has personified the cat, made the cat to be like a human being. That is the meaning of personification. Okay, so this is supposed to be a poem about a thieving cat. Thieving in the sense a robber, a person who steals. In this case, the cat. So continue watching the video. I'm explaining the objectives also in the upcoming video and also the bio sketch of the poet. Continue watching, please. So today, class 8 BC, Macavity the Mystery Cat. Today's date is 3/12/20. Okay. Objectives of this is to read a poem to understand, as we usually do, then to identify new words and phrases, which you will find in plenty. Whatever new words you find, please underline them and find the meanings of them too. Then to summarize the poem, which you will be doing yourself. You will be summarizing or writing the summary of the poem yourself. This is a bio sketch of the poet. His full name, his short name is T.S. Eliot and his full name is Thomas Stearns Eliot. Thomas Stearns Eliot. Okay, S-T-E-A-R-N-S, Stearns Eliot. He was born on 26 September. Write the full spelling of September. Please do not leave it like this. This is, I have given the short form. I want to see whether you know the full form, full spelling. 1888, St. Louis, Missouri, USA. He was born here and on this date. He died on 4th January 1965 in Kensington. And some more extra information about him. He was American born. He was not American, he was British, but born in America. So American born, British poet. He was a British born in America. Essayist, A-S-S-A-Y-S-A-I-S-T, essayist. That means he used to write essays. Publisher, he also used to publish books. Playwright means he used to write stories for movies and all that. And editor, he used to edit what he used to write and what other people used to write. Also, he used to edit or make corrections. That is the meaning of editor. Some of his poems, there were many poems, many short stories, many playwrights or many screen scripts he wrote. From here I'm giving you names of 2 poems, The Wasteland and The Hollow Men. If you find more, you can write. There are many more. I have mentioned only 2 here. Where did he get his education? Education in Harvard University. And awards, he also won many awards. One of the most prestigious awards was the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1948. In 1948, he won the Nobel Prize in Literature. This is his information. You make a bio sketch of T.S. Eliot. Please don't forget to mention his full name as well. So this is all given in random order, especially down here. So please write it in sequence. Okay, one after the other. That also will be checked, how you put the information together. Okay, this is the bio sketch. Now coming to poetic devices. These are the poetic devices that the poet has used in the poem. Repetition, that means repeating of lines, repeating of sentences. He has done that. Then alliteration. I hope you remember what alliteration is. That is, in one line he has the same sounding consonants. If S sounding consonant, then he'll have 2-3 words of S in the same line. Imagery, imagery comes from the word imagination. He has used imagery here, imagination of a cat who is like a thief, comparing the cat to a thief, imagery. Personification. Personification means giving all human characteristics to a non-human character. So a cat is not a human being, but he has given human characteristics to this cat, made him like a person. In this case, he has made him like a thief, like how a thief behaves, coming very quietly, very cunningly, and robbing and stealing. In the same way, he has put the cat. He's given the cat human characteristics. Then we also have a rhyme scheme. The rhyme scheme is there in the poem. As we are going ahead in the poem, I shall explain the rhyme scheme. I shall explain all this in the poem as well. So you need to listen very, very carefully to the poem. But these are the poetic devices that the poet has used. He has used a few more, but I am not touching that. I am just giving you these main ones. Okay, so let's continue with the poem. Macavity, the mystery cat. Do you have a pet cat? Many of us have. Some of us have dogs. Yes? Have you ever noticed anything mysterious about it? Something mysterious, something which it does very, very quietly? It is not easy to say whether every cat is a mystery, but Macavity is one for sure. So it's difficult to say if every cat is a mysterious cat, if every cat is like Macavity. But the poet is sure that this cat, Macavity, is one such cat. What is it that makes him a perfect mystery cat? Read the poem and find out. So we shall read the poem and find out what makes Macavity a mystery cat or a mysterious cat. So now the beginning of the poem. Macavity is a mystery cat. He's called the Hidden Paw, for he's the master criminal who can defy the law. He's the bafflement of Scotland Yard, the flying squad despair. For when they reach the scene of crime, Macavity is not there. These are the first lines of the poem. So it begins with saying, Macavity is a mystery cat, just like the title. He's called the Hidden Paw. He's also called the Hidden Paw, like an alias. You know, alias, a different name by which criminals are known. So he also is called the Hidden Paw. That means he can hide very well. He can hide whatever he's doing very well. It's very difficult to catch him. For he is the master criminal who can defy the law. He is a master criminal, great criminal, who can defy the law, who can disobey. Defy means to disobey the law. The law can be different kinds of law. As we go ahead in the poem, you'll come to know what the poet means by saying the law. The first law is the police. Law also is the police, isn't it? So he is the bafflement of Scotland Yard. The police in Britain or in England, they are called Scotland Yard. So he is a bafflement. He creates confusion. He creates, the Scotland Yard are unable to understand how this cat is able to hide. It does the criminal activity, or it steals, it robs, and then it quietly disappears. So they are confused as to how to catch this cat. He is the bafflement of Scotland Yard, the flying squad despair. Despair means they are at a complete loss. They don't know how to find him. For when they reach the scene of crime, Macavity is not there. So when they reach the place where Macavity was last seen, he is not seen there at all. He is completely disappeared. It seems like he's vanished into thin air. So he creates quite a confusion among the police department, among the Scotland Yard, among the flying squad. Two categories of the police. The flying squad are a different branch of the police there in Britain. So these people also are baffled. They are fooled. Like it seems like they are fooled by the cat because they are not able to find him. So whenever they reach the scene of the crime where something had happened, they would find that Macavity was not there and that he disappeared from the scene. Macavity, Macavity, there's no one like Macavity. He's broken every human law. He breaks the law of gravity. His powers of levitation would make a fakir stare, and when you reach the scene of crime, Macavity is not there. You may seek him in the basement, you may look up in the air, but I tell you once and once again, Macavity is not there. So here we see the poetic devices. In the first paragraph, if you go back to the previous video, you will see that the first line, hidden paw, paw rhymes with law and despair rhymes with there. So here we have the rhyme scheme of A, B, B. Now here in this paragraph also we have the rhyme scheme. You see the first line ending with Macavity and fourth line ending with gravity. So Macavity and gravity also are rhyming. Okay, so this is the rhyme scheme. So the poet begins by saying, Macavity, Macavity, there's no one like Macavity. See the repetition. He's repeating the word so many times. That is called repetition. So he's broken every human law. He breaks the law of gravity. Human law, as in the case of the police. The police are not able to catch him, and stealing and robbing is against the law. So he has broken that law. That is one law. And second law that he's broken is the law of gravity. Law of gravity is what keeps us to the ground. If there was no gravity, we would be floating in the air. But then he has also broken that law of gravity because he is able to get off the ground. He is able to float. That is coming in the next line. So he's broken every human law. He breaks the law of gravity. His powers of levitation would make a fakir stare. His powers of levitation. Levitation is the meaning of being above the ground. He would be able to float in the air. Otherwise, everything pulls us down to the earth, and that is why we are able to stand and not floating. Yes, so he goes against that law as well. And such are his powers that even a fakir is a kind of a person who does these tricks on the street. He's able to sit in the air. He sits cross-legged in the air. You can see a fakir. So he would make even a fakir stare at him. Even a fakir would be shocked at what he does with his powers of levitation. And when you reach the scene of crime, Macavity is not there. See this line, Macavity is not there. Again, it has been repeated from the first paragraph. Macavity is not there. Again, we have Macavity is not there. Okay, when you reach the scene of crime. You may seek him in the basement. You may look up in the air. Seek means look. You may look for him in the basement. Basement is a room, a kind of a room which is under the house. In India, we don't have such kinds of houses, basements. But in movies, you may have seen they have basements, and the opposite of basement is attic. They have attics above the house and basements under the house, where they show all the horror movies. If you see, all the ghosts are supposed to be living either in the attic or in the basement. Yeah, that is the basement, where people keep, is used mostly like a storeroom, where people keep all the unwanted things. So if you look for him in the basement, you may look for him up in the air. But I tell you once and once again, Macavity is not there. Macavity will not be there. Wherever he commits the crime, after committing the crime, he completely disappears. Macavity is not there. So repetition has been used here. Now coming to the next. Macavity is a ginger cat. He's very tall and thin. You would know him if you saw him, for his eyes are sunken in. His brow is deeply lined with thought. His head is highly domed. This is the next paragraph. Macavity is a ginger cat. Ginger means not adrak, okay? Not the adrak that we have with tea or with food. Ginger here means ginger is the color, orangey color. So he's an orangey color cat. His hair is orange in color, nearly orange in color. He's very tall and thin, like you can see in the picture there. In the book, you can see in the picture, he's very tall and thin. You would know him if you saw him, for his eyes are sunken in. And if you saw him anywhere on the street, you would immediately recognize him because his eyes are sunken in, means his eyes are right inside. They're sunken. They're sunken means they're sunk or sink. Sunk is the past participle of sink. Like something sinks in the water, like a boat sinks in the water. So in the same way, his eyes are sunken in, right inside. His brow is deeply lined with thought. If you look at his brow or his eyebrows or his forehead, you will see frowns, you will see lines on his forehead. It seems like he's always been in deep thought. People who think a lot, they frown a lot, and these lines kind of form on their forehead. So if you look at his forehead, you will see deep lines on his forehead. His head is highly domed. His head is highly domed. Look at the words here. His starting with H. H, head starting with H. Highly starting with H. So here we have one poetic device, and that is alliteration. Alliteration. Here we have the poetic device. So his head is highly domed means it's like a dome. His head is like a dome. Dome is like what you see on buildings, especially on, you can see them in this place of worship, in masjids. In masjid, in the mosques, you can see in the minaras or in the main masjid, the roof is not straight. It is like a oval shape roof. Yes. So that is a dome. So his head is like that. It's domed. That is how the poet describes him. His head is highly domed. So don't forget, we have the poetic device in this particular line, alliteration. Let's continue. So next paragraph. His coat is dusty from neglect. His whiskers are uncombed. He sways his head from side to side with movements like a snake. And when you think he's half asleep, he's always wide awake. Macavity, Macavity, there's no one like Macavity, for he is a fiend in feline shape, a monster of depravity. You may meet him in a by street, you may see him in the square, but when a crime's discovered, then Macavity is not there. Again the repetition. So coming back to the first line. His coat is dusty from neglect. There's no one to take care of him, or he does not take care of himself. There is no time for himself to clean his coat as in his fur, the hair on his body. His whiskers are uncombed. Whiskers means something which is there just around his nose, the hair which comes out like a mustache just around his nose. Those are whiskers. What he has on his body, the hair that he has on his body is called the fur. What he has on his nose, 6, 7 of them, those are whiskers, and they're all curled up. They're not straight. He sways his head from side to side. Sways his head means he moves his head from side to side. Not from front to back, but from side to side. Just like a snake. You see a snake dance, a snake charmer performing a snake dance. They go from side to side. So with movements like a snake, he's moving side to side like a snake. Sways is a kind of movement, moving very, very gently. And when you think he's half asleep, he's always wide awake. So you see him with his closed eyes lying somewhere on the floor. You think he's half asleep, but actually he's always wide awake. He's never sleeping. He's such a cunning cat. He's always awake. But when you think that he is asleep. Macavity, Macavity, there's no one like Macavity. He's a unique cat. For he is a fiend. Fiend means a devil. He's a devil. You know a devil, evil person. In feline shape. Feline means this word feline is used for cats and the cat family. The lion, the tiger, the leopard, the cheetah, this ordinary cat, these all belong to the feline family. So he's a devil in the shape of a cat. A monster of depravity. Depravity means moral corruption. He's absolutely corrupted. He's a monster. He's a corrupted monster. So if you look at this line, for he is a fiend in feline shape, a monster of depravity. So is there an alliteration there? Yes, fiend and feline. 2 words starting with the letter F. You may meet him in a by street. By street means a gully, path, gully. You may see him in the square. Square here is like what we call in Assamese the charali. Sariali, we say Sariali, Patharkwari Sariali, Tinyali. Yes, Sariali is in Narengi, we have. That is called a square. So you may meet him in a by street in a small gully, or you may meet him in the square. But when a crime is discovered, then Macavity is not there. You may see him anywhere, but the moment you discover that something wrong has happened, some robbing has taken place, some robbery has taken place, someone has stolen something, you will find that Macavity suddenly disappeared from there. Macavity is not there. Okay, so I hope you have understood the poem. The repetition, Macavity is not there. Then we have the alliteration. We have all these words. Then we have the the rhyming scheme. Please look at the whole paragraph and take out all the words that rhyme. In pairs, you take out all the words that rhyme with each other. In the first paragraph, we have paw, P-A-W, paw, which rhymes with law. Then despair, which rhymes with there. So the rhyme scheme there is A-A-B-B. A is paw, law, and B is despair there. Then as you go ahead, you will find more A's, you will find more B's. You may also find a C. Okay, so you please, if this rhyme scheme is not clear, you please let me know. So I'm going to continue with the glossary and with the working of the poem. So here are some of the new words which you will find. You may find some more according to what you understand, but some here are here with their meaning. So the first one is defy. Defy means disobey or resist openly without minding anyone looking at you. You just defy. You say, no, I'll not do it. You disobey. Scotland Yard, the headquarters of the London police force. Then flying squad, a group of police or soldiers ready to move into action very quickly. They're always ready to move. Levitation, floating in the air without support. No one is holding you, you're just floating in the air. Fiend is a devil. Feline means of or relating to a cat, the cat family. And depravity means moral corruption. Moral corruption means he's a corrupted fellow. He does not care who is doing anything bad to. He just does the things. He doesn't care for anyone. Now coming to this, working with the poem. Read the first stanza and think, is Macavity a cat really? If not, who can Macavity be? If you think he's not a cat, then who can he be? Complete the following sentences. A master criminal is one who dash. Please find the answers yourself. The Scotland Yard is baffled because. Why are they baffled? Why are they confused? It means, okay. Number 3, dash because Macavity moves much faster than them. Dash because Macavity moves much faster than them. So what do you think will come here in the blank? The next question, number 3. A cat, I am sure, could walk on a cloud without coming through. Said by Jules Verne. Jules Verne says, a cat, I am sure, could walk on a cloud without coming through, without falling from the clouds. Maybe a cat will walk there on the clouds without falling through it. So which law is Macavity breaking in the light of the comment above? So which law is Macavity breaking? He is not falling from the clouds. So which law is Macavity breaking? Very, very easy. Question number 4. Read stanza 3 and then describe Macavity in 2 or 3 sentences of your own. Yeah, read stanza 3 and then describe Macavity. Just 2-3 sentences in your own words. Number 5, say false or true for each of the following statements. True and false, very simple. And in number 6, having read the poem, you have read the poem, try to guess whether the poet is fond of cats. Is the poet fond of cats? Is that why he is writing about cats? If so, why does he call Macavity a fiend and a monster? Why does he call the Macavity a devil and a monster if he is fond of cats? Does he hate cats? That is why he's calling them fiend and monster? Or does he love cats? Or is he calling the cats fiend and monster with love? So you decide and write the answer. Very, very short answers. Okay. Number 7 we'll just leave out for now. Do till number 6 only. This is the poem for today. Hopefully you have understood it. Okay. So take care. Bye-bye.